I hate the phrase music marketing. Is that marketing? Great, who cares? Put it out for yourself, do what you want. I'm destroying art. Yeah, people don't go to gigs. Yes, they do. Calm it down a notch. We need to talk, and today I am bringing you a rant about the phrase music marketing. I hate the phrase music marketing. There is no such thing as music marketing. This is artistry, and artistry is how you get your music out there. Artistry is how you are going to make return of investment on you as an artist and your music. Music marketing makes it sound like a poster or a flyer campaign or a slogan like Build Back Better, and I hate that. This is about you, the artist, and everything you stand for, and the audience who will love you, and the audience who will buy from you. Think about the music industry as a whole. Like a major label like Universal Music Group. They're not a marketing company. Like Live Nation, a company that can get you out touring in front of your fan base and in places that can make new fans. They're not a marketing company. This is all about the music industry and artistry as a whole. And I totally understand that social media and content creation are a part of being an artist and get your message out there. But it's just a vehicle. Social media is just a vehicle for you to be able to get new people to come in and to look after a fan base. And this has been happening throughout the traditions of time over the last 60 or 70 years. Take an artist like David Bowie. David Bowie, we would all say, is a huge artist, and people understand the artistry of David Bowie. But David Bowie started as Davy Jones. He changed his name because it just wasn't working out. Is that marketing, or is that him saying, I'm not strong enough as an artist? He released the song Space Oddity, his first single, which I think went top 5, 2 or 3 days before Apollo 11 launched, the moon landing. Is that marketing, or is that clever artistry? The whole thing of how it pieces together. A few days back, I saw a video of someone saying Facebook advertising for artists releasing music does not work. And I just thought, what a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, anyone who thinks digital advertising on a platform, a huge platform like Instagram or TikTok or even Facebook doesn't work is just incredibly inexperienced when it comes to anything business related. This has been the same story for years. We used to go back, we used to go on tour when we were artists throughout the decades, and it'd be like, I don't know how to get my music out there. I will go on tour and I will go to different venues and I will play a gig. That's just it's not marketing, it's just the way we're getting our music out there. A Facebook ad is very simple. A Facebook ad is just saying, I will put this in front of these people. Now, if you get the context wrong, if you get the advert wrong, if you get the audience wrong, if you try and get them to do something that they don't want to do and the advert doesn't work, that's not the advert's fault. What you're doing is you're saying, I'm trying to get in front of someone at the wrong time or in the wrong way or with the wrong message. But saying Facebook advertising doesn't work, it's just a ridiculous concept. Artists have always needed a way to be discovered by a fan base as well as the music industry. And if you don't believe that, try this. Open your window, sit by your window and play your music and see how long it's going to take before Lucian Grange walks past and says,
you're going to be UMG's next big thing.
This is about you as an artist and how you get discovered by a fan base, and more importantly, how you look after that fan base. Here's another one, and this one's much, much bigger. I have made it clear about my feelings about artists releasing albums instead of singles. The amount of hate I get for this, the amount of people who say, as someone said the other day, I'm destroying art. It's a dangerous precedent, I'm destroying art. Look, I don't have a problem with albums. I love albums. Albums are fantastic. And if you're Adele or Bring Me the Horizon, go for your life. You've got an audience. Release what you want. It makes no difference. The problem here isn't this. The problem is when you are an up-and-coming artist and you don't have an audience, why would you release multiple pieces in one go? Because of art. Because the problem is you're going to exhaust the creative. You're going to get to a point where you just say, I've put it out. What do I do next? And there's an issue with this. You spend your time, your effort, your money on making this. You spend a lot of money on creating this. And if you create an EP of 4 or 5 songs, it takes longer than it does for one single. If you record them all at the same time and you batch it and you release them as singles, great, that's fantastic. The issue isn't with albums. I don't have a problem with releasing an album. I have a problem with an up-and-coming artist who doesn't have an audience, where people don't know who they are, releasing albums, hoping and expecting for something to happen, when the reality is it's more of a lottery. Let's hope for the best. And if it doesn't, you got to go and do it all again. It's going to take you 6 to 12 months to go through the entire process all again. And if you're a massive artist, it's fine, because when you approach magazines or radios or TVs, they go, yeah, great. Yeah, we'd love to. There's hundreds of thousands of opportunities when you're a big artist. But when you're not, there's 3 or 5 or 10. It's not enough for you to keep this album being promoted the whole time. So why? Why not make it easier for yourself to say, I'm going to get to the album, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to release single, 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 single. Then I'm going to bunch everything together and add a couple of extra songs and then promote the album. It makes complete sense to me. To me, it's common sense. It's not even marketing. This idea that this is marketing is not. No one's going to hear your stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. What we're talking about here is leverage. At the beginning, you don't have leverage. Later on down the line, you do have leverage. So we use the leverage. But when you don't have leverage, it doesn't make sense. And I understand. It's your art. I get it. But who are you doing this for? If you're doing this for yourself, then fine, great, who cares? Put it out for yourself, do what you want. Release 1 song, release 500 songs. Nobody cares, because it's about you. But if you're saying, no, I love it. I want people to hear my stuff. I want to be able to go on tour. I want people to message me and say, honestly, that song changed my life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to do that, then that's not marketing. That's making amazing songs, and how you're going to get that in front of people, and everything pieces together like a jigsaw puzzle. Not marketing. For me, when it comes to making content on this YouTube channel or my Instagram, or especially in DK Music Business Academy, this comes down to return of investment. I want every single artist to be able to have a return on investment when it comes to their time, their effort, their energy, and the money that they've invested into themselves as an artist. And yes, we have to play the game a little bit, but what it comes down to is, if you understand the audience, if you understand who you are as an artist, then you can build the audience and monetize the audience. And it might not be in streaming, but there's plenty of ways that you can monetize. The issue I have here is, if you think that's marketing, if you think that building an audience and looking after an audience, if you think that's marketing, we have huge problems. Huge problems. Because what you've actually done here is, you've said, I'm better than that. I just want the audience to just love who I am for the sake of it, and buy my stuff when I tell you, and listen to my music when I tell you. What sort of attitude is that? How do you feel if your favorite artist did the same thing? That's not community. That's not being an artist. That's not standing for something. That's not being a leader and saying, this is who we are and this is what we're going to do, and we are going to go and do this gig. And then I get people going, yeah, people don't go to gigs. Yes, they do. They go to gigs everywhere. There's loads of gigs. People are selling tickets all of the time. The problem is, if you're not selling tickets, we're not wrapping it up in the right way. But wrapping something up in the right way, whether that's the algorithm, or the algorithm doesn't push me out, the algorithm does just fine. It's the people. There's no such thing as an algorithm. It's the people. The people saw it, they didn't like it. The music might be great, but it hasn't been wrapped up in a way that will resonate with someone, that will connect with someone, music or not. So we have to figure out how to get the right message in front of these people for you, the artist. That's artistry. That isn't music marketing. Calm it down a notch. Let me tell you a story. Ed Sheeran. I don't care whether you like Ed Sheeran or don't like Ed Sheeran. This is important. Ed Sheeran, everyone knows Ed Sheeran is one of the biggest artists in the entire world. But back in the day, which was probably a Wednesday, back in the day before Ed Sheeran was a massive artist, Ed Sheeran's doing this gig, and a couple come up to him and say, love your stuff. When we get married, you have to come and play our engagement party. And they're having a chat, and Ed Sheeran says, absolutely, I'll be there. Fast forward a bunch of years later, a friend of mine who lives in London gets a call, who's a friend of Ed Sheeran's, and says, I'm in town, do you want to have a pint? He says, oh, amazing, what are you doing in town? Because he lives 300 miles away. He says, oh, a bunch of years back, I promised this couple that if they ever got engaged, I'd play their engagement party. And they had this engagement party, and it was just in a basement. I took my guitar. This is, at this point, a huge international artist who drove 300 miles to go and do something that he'd promised. And the amount of people will hear that story and just go, oh, Ed Sheeran, he's good at marketing, isn't he? No, he's not. He's an artist. He's a great artist. He understands how to get himself as an artist. He understands how to get his music out there. He understands how to sell tickets. He understands how to get people to enjoy what he does. He understands the game. He understands artistry. If it's just music marketing, then let's do a flyer campaign. Let's just go and get some stickers and stick them on lampposts. Let's see how that does. It doesn't do well. It's your job as an artist to not just create the music, but to create the story, to create the narrative, not just where you've come from. When I was 12 years old, my dad bought me a guitar, blah, blah, blah. And that leads me to here. Who gives a shit? Who are you? What do you do? And more importantly, why? Why are you doing this? Where are we going? Because when we get that connection, I'm all in. And when we're all in, what happens? We'll come to the gig, which means we're buying tickets. We'll buy the merch, which means we're buying your t-shirts. We will spend money on our favorite artists, but we've got to stop thinking of this as music marketing. It sounds so derogatory, and it makes you sound, when you say this, it makes you sound that you're better than that. It makes you say, oh, I've got this music marketing. Instead of saying, no, this is about who I am, what I do, and my audience. Not some people who are on Instagram, not a bunch of people that just go, yeah, I can see you. This is about your audience, the people who wake up and they want to see more of you. They want to buy from you. They want to listen to your music. If you think that's music marketing, we've got a huge problem. So from here on in, please stop with the music marketing. Please stop with this idea of like whether you should or shouldn't release albums. Everything is about timing, leverage, your artistry, what is working, what isn't working, and how we build you from having a small fan base to a big fan base. It's not marketing. So guys, I know I'm probably going to get a load of hate in the comments, but tell me what you think. If you disagree with me, bring it. Give me it in the comments. Tell me what you think. And if anyone says it should be all about the music, yes, I agree, it should. It isn't. And should you have to do Facebook ads? No. Is it a great opportunity? Yes. Should you be allowed to just put albums out and they go stratospheric? Yes. Do they? No. Is it the right thing to do? Yes for Ed Sheeran, no for you. Like, this is what we need to be discussing. And this is artistry. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks so much for appeasing my rant. Hit the like button or don't. I mean, whatever, you hit the dislike button if you don't agree with it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a calmer state next time.